Hi guys, I run Webheaded Hero and the Detective Wonder, and I am the Mun, obviously. And here is my Mun video for reaching 300 followers on Webheaded Hero and the Detective Wonder. First of all, I just wanted to thank all of you for following me. You guys all just mean so much to me, and it means a lot to me that like some of my partners have stuck it out with me this long, because I never thought I'd get more than like a dozen followers on either of those, because I really had no idea what I was doing. So it's just thank you guys all so much for following me and putting up with me, and um, just thank you all so much. Now I'm gonna do some shout outs to blogs that I follow and interact with, and I'm not gonna really edit the video at all, because I know I'm gonna get, because if I do try and edit it, I'm gonna get really self-conscious about my voice and stuff. So just bear with the video if I pause a lot or do something stupid. I'm sorry. So my first shout out goes to AKA Supergirl, who was actually the first one of my first partners when I started role playing on Tumblr. She wasn't Supergirl then; she was Vicky Vale, and she was actually the first blog that I shipped Tim with, and it was a pretty interesting ship. Uh, I mean, I liked it, and she's just been so great, and she stuck with me this long, which it seems like forever ago that that um, I'm sorry. It seems like forever ago, but I'm really thankful that she stuck it out with me this long, and she's just a really great mun, and she's always fun to talk to. And one of the things that we both share in common is we both hate the Chris Nolan Batman films, so it's really fun to rant with her about those. Yeah, I hate them. I'm sorry, guys. Not really. I'm not really sorry. They suck. Um, let's see. Oh, I also use her as a sort of reference more than I do Google and DC Wiki, because pretty much if you have any question about the Kryptonians or Superman family or whatever, like Clark, Kara, or even Connor, she'll know the answer more, and she's more accurate than the internet is. So that's always fun to do. Um, Next, my Ty Lee for Webheaded Hero, Ty Lee the Magnificent. She's she was one of the first like hardcore ships that I had for Peter, I think, and it was funny because I didn't really plan on starting out like that, but it's great. I love their interactions between the two of them. They're always in the Mun herself is so funny. She always makes me laugh, especially with her with the pictures that she uses for Ty Lee. They're great, and the Mun's really nice and friendly. And uh, if you're not following her, and especially if you're in the Avatar Legend of Korra fandom, you should follow her, because she's great, and her Ty Lee is just so flawless, and it's great. Next shout out goes to Cleavage and Claus, who is my Felicia Hardy / Black Cat. I think she's everyone's Felicia Hardy, actually, because I always see her with doing threads and stuff with other people. So um, if you're not following her, then you really should be, because her Felicia is just great, and I love interacting with her, and I'm surprised she's still interacting with me. And her replies to asks and stuff are always funny, especially when she gets the really weird and creepy anons that stuff like that. It's always great. Um, and then next is Senna the Sneak, who is an OC for, I think she's she's an OC for the DC fandom, but she interacts with anyone really, and she was one of the first. She was the first OTP I had for Tim Drake, and they are so perfect together. I love that ship so much. They're just flawless. and the Mun's really awesome and is really fun to interact with and talk to, and she always makes me laugh. So if you want a good OC to follow, you should go and follow her. Next is Slowpoke Jinx, who is, needless to say, a Jinx from the Teen Titans cartoon, and she's great. Her Jinx is really good. She does a good job at like kind of going into depth about what makes Jinx the way she is, because I really didn't know anything about the character before I interacted with her. I just knew that she had pink hair, and that's really it. That's all I knew. But she goes into like she knows like all the backstory about her and everything, and so she, you know, knows why she would react a certain way in a situation or something, and so that's a really interesting take on her. And then the Mun's really friendly. It's funny whenever we talk. We constantly use all caps, so it's just funny. Let's see. Next is Bunny Ears and Trickery, who is she does a take on the White Rabbit from the New 52, who's a villainess for Batman. I think she appeared in the Dark Knight comics, and she does like her own take on the character, but it's really interesting, and I really like the way that she portrays her, and it's fun because our ship with Peter is she gets to write her character in a way that she doesn't normally get to, because Peter brings out a different side of her than she normally portrays. And the Mun's really great too. It's fun to just mess around with her. Let's see, who else? Gotham's Little Ray of Hope, who is my Stephanie Brown for Tim Drake, and needless to say, if you're familiar with Tim Drake or the Tim Drake in general, you'll know what that means. She's one of my OTPs for Tim, because I love Stephanie and Tim together. They're always adorable, and then she plays Stephanie wonderfully. I love the way that she can capture Stephanie's sassy side or Stephanie's tough side. You know, it's great. And then her, the redheaded bat, and I think the true Bat Air, I think, is the Damien. We all talk a lot, and it's fun. Our conversation. Oh, and Cat of Nine Tails, Layla. We all talk a lot, and we have such weird interactions together. If you were to see the conversations, you'd be shocked. But yeah, she's great, and if you're wanting a good and she does all the takes on Stephanie Brown. She does, like, Spoiler, Batgirl. She has an AU where Stephanie Brown is Nightwing, and then I think she does Stephanie Brown as Robin too. So if you want a Stephanie Brown, you should go follow her. Next is Whirlwind's blog, who is an OC for the DC universe, and she's really great. She stuck with me for a while, which I'm really thankful for, because I really enjoy our interactions, and even though I'm super lazy with replies, she puts up with me, and it's always fun just ranting about character feels and stuff like that with her. Yeah, I really like the ship. And then we're wanting to try a ship with Peter, I think. I know we ship her character and Tim Drake together, and so that's a really interesting ship. Next is Miss Martian Invasion, who is my Miss Martian for Peter, which is another one of my big ships for Spider-Man, is Miss Martian and Spider-Man. Excuse me. They're so adorable together. It is. I love that ship. I don't know why they go together so well, but they just do. It's great. And then the Mun's really fun to talk to. And then So yeah, if you want a Miss Martian blog, you should go and follow her. Another Miss Martian is Little Miss Martian, who also interacts with my Tim Drake for the Detective Wonder, and she's great. The Mun's very bubbly and sweet, and she's great to talk to. If you're not following her, you should follow her as well. Both of the Miss Martians, Miss Martian Invasion and X Little Miss Martian X is the other URL. So go follow them. You won't regret it. Next is Passion Under Stars, who is my Starfire. And she captures Starfire so perfectly. 1 minute she'll be capturing Starfire's innocent and kind of naive side, and then in like 2 seconds later, Starfire will be like, ready to rip some dude's tongue out of his mouth, is what I think she said in a certain thread. She said she was going to do that, and so it's great how she can just have Starfire all cute and pretty and bubbly 1 second, and then the next second she's ready to start ripping limbs off and stuff, and so that's really great. And then let's see, next we have Kamen Rider, who is one of my bro TPs for Spider-Man. He and Peter get along really well. They got off to an awesome start by beating the crap out of each other in Times Square. That's always a good way to start off a friendship, by pummeling each other and causing damage to the city. And they always get into little quips about who's the better photographer, because he's a photographer too, and obviously so is Peter, and so they're always trying to compete with each other and be like, oh look, I just took this picture, blah 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 blah. It's great. And then the Mun's also really really great to talk to, because I can rant with him about nerdy stuff and all that, and so that's always fun to do. Speaking of bro TPs, there's another one for with Savior of Existence, who is an OC with it's a cross, if I'm not mistaken, it's a cross with Doctor Who and the Kamen Rider universe. And I actually had no idea what the Kamen Rider universe was when those blogs started following me. I was really confused, and I thought they were Power Rangers, sort of, but he's great. The Mun's really friendly and always eager to interact with you, so if you're not following him, you should, because he's really great. Next is the Strawberry Bat, who is another one of my Barbara Gordons. She is a Batgirl Barbara Gordon, and the Mun's really good, and she captures Barbara pretty well. And you should go and follow her, especially, I think she does, I'm not sure if she does the Young Justice version of Barbara or not. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, you should go and follow her, especially if you're looking for a Batgirl. Another Barbara Gordon I follow is a Oracle Barbara Gordon, who, if you're familiar with the Bat family, Barbara gets shot by the Joker, and she's paralyzed from the waist down. So since she can't be Batgirl anymore, she becomes Oracle, and she's like a super hacker genius type of hero. And it was really good, because it was a great hero for people who were disabled, who were physically disabled. It was good for them. And but now, of course, she's Batgirl again with the relaunch, which I have mixed feelings about. But that Barbara Gordon is the redheaded bat, and I also ship her with Peter. It's called Web Wheels, and they're great. And we interact. We do like random things on Skype with our characters. We'll just have them like doing something really random. It's fun, and I obviously ship Peter with the Strawberry Bat 2 as a Batgirl Barbara Gordon. Who else do I want to give a shout out to? I think, Layla, of course. Yeah, Layla told me to give her a shout out and told me to tell her that, say, oh my freaking gosh, I love you, Layla. So, okay, there you go. I said it, Layla. I hope you're happy. Um, and then there is Kara Jor-El, who is a Smallville take on Supergirl, and she's really fun to interact with, and the Mun is really friendly, always fun to talk to and interact with. And then she really enjoys talking about Nightwing's butt for some reason. I mean, I'm not really that into that, but she really likes Brett Booth's drawing of him in the New 52. So, uh, okay, now that I'm done giving shoutouts and babbling, I'm going to. Oh, one more shout out is Son of M, who is a Pietro Maximoff, and he's everyone's Pietro Maximoff. I think. I mean, it's hard to find a blog that doesn't interact with him, and he just captures Pietro. I really didn't know that much about Pietro before I followed him. The only time I knew about Pietro was when I watched X-Men Evolutions, and it was really interesting to see, to learn more about him whenever I followed him and interacted with him. And he's so sassy with his answers to asks, and the Mun's just really fun and goofy and funny, and I enjoy talking to them about. He's also Han Solo on my Star Wars blog that I haven't been on in quite a while. I should probably get on that sometime. But yeah, if you're not following him, you're missing out, and you really should, like right now. Excuse me. Okay, now that I'm done babbling, for real I think this time, I'm going to get on to some questions. Okay, so the first question is from, I'm just going to read them off the Word document on my computer. So the first question is from Whirlwind's blog. She says, what do you think of my characters, and do you ship any of yours with any of mine? Well, first of all, Whirlwind is great. I love Nicole. You just really wrote a really great OC for the DC fandom, and you also created a new one. I think it's pronounced Ren. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. I should probably ask you to do that. And do I ship any of yours with mine? Yes, obviously I shipped him with Whirlwind. And then we wanted to try shipping Ren with Peter, so that'll be interesting. Next question is from Dia. Dia Bleret-Mun, I think is how you pronounce her URL. Diableret. She asks, favorite comic book character of all time. Hands down, that would be Spider-Man. Just no character comes close for me. Well, probably the only character that comes close would be Tim Drake. But even then, I mean, it's still... I mean, no one's ever going to replace Spider-Man to me. Okay, Slowpoke Jinx asked a lot of questions. If you're stuck on a desert island for 7 years and you can only bring one book, which would it be? I would probably bring Lord of the Rings, because for one, it's just such a huge book, so I would definitely be able to pass the time by reading it. And then it's also just one of those books that every time you read, you learn something new. Like what am I thinking of? You take away something new each time you read it. Like you catch new stuff each time. It's just great, and I love J.R.R. Tolkien's writing. I mean, it's so beautiful. Like just the way he can describe. Like he can go on for 2 pages about a mountain in detail, and it's really great. Okay, next question from her is, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you like to go? I would like to go to Ireland, because I'm Irish for one, and I would like to go and see my family. And it's just, like, from all the pictures I've seen and stuff, it's just such a beautiful country, and I'd love to just be able to go there and explore and look around and all that. That'd be... Next question from her is, have you ever left the U.S.? Yes, I have. Sort of. I mean, I don't know if you would count it. I've been to the Bahamas and the Caribbean on a cruise I went on years and years ago. That was a lot of fun. Her next question is 3 hobbies / things you do in your spare time besides Tumblr. Well, I play video games, obviously. So that's one. Two would be I like to play guitar. No, I'm not going to play any for you in this video. I'm not going to make you guys suffer. Uh, let's see. Reading, I guess you could count that. I like to read a lot. Comic books, books, anything really. I'm a big reader and writer. Obviously, I mean writing isn't not role playing. Like I like to write, drabbles, short stories, stuff like that in my spare time. Excuse me. 3 random fears of mine. Well, spiders is definitely the biggest because I'm a legitimate arachnophobic, which is really ironic because I play Spider-Man. So spiders are definitely the biggest. I remember when I first started the blog, some anon made me reblog a bunch of pictures of spiders, and I think I was able to get like 1 or 2 before I started shaking at my computer and I had to stop. A second fear of mine would be, oh, those not clowns, those dolls that, what's his name? Chucky is from the horror movies. Those dolls creep me out. Those are really freaky. I don't like those. Let's see, another fear of mine. Probably clowns. I know it's kind of a cliche fear, but I've never liked clowns. They've always just really freaked me out. It's just their makeup and their big shoes, and I don't like them. Worst horror film I've seen. I don't think I've actually seen a horror film. I really can't watch a horror film because I'm a huge baby. I even jump and get scared whenever I'm watching the commercials in the theater. Like everyone else is just sitting around like laying back and watching the movie, and I'm sitting there like jumping and freaking out and stuff because I'm a baby. And yeah, so I don't really watch horror movies because of that reason. 3 things I have in common with my muse. I'm guessing she's probably talking about Peter. So, photography, for one. I do like photography. I've actually got a really nice Rebel Canon, and I took a photography class in high school, so that was a lot of fun. I was always kind of really nerdy. Still am, actually. Really nerdy growing up in school. Kind of like how Peter was. I was really not, I wasn't really social. I was more into my studies and just into like comic books and superheroes and, stuff like that. And then the third thing I have in common with Peter is that every night I go and dress up as Spider-Man and swing around the city and fight crime. No, not really. I'm just kidding. The third thing I have in common with Peter is, what else do I have in common? Probably his how he puts his foot in his mouth, and not literally, but how he'll always say something that gets him in trouble, and like some wise ass remark, and he'll end up getting like smacked on the back of the head, or gets him in trouble and stuff like that. I've always been like that, even though I've been kind of shy and reserved. I've had a bad habit of just being a smart aleck, and that gets me in trouble. That used to get me in trouble sometimes. 3 things you differ from your muse. Well, for one, his superpowers, obviously. What else? Let's see. I don't have brown eyes like Peter does. I have blue eyes. You probably can't really see because of the light, but I have blue eyes and he has brown. It's another thing that I differ from with Peter. Probably how he's really good at building things. I'm not really good at that. I mean, he built web shooters at like 15 years old. There was no way I could do something like that, obviously. Let's see, the next thing. Favorite genre of music would probably just be rock. Not like metal or anything, just regular rock and roll is one of my favorites. Favorite video game? Now that's hard. I don't really know if I could narrow it down to just one. One of the first games that I really got into was Halo for the original Xbox. That was one of the first video games that I played. So that one's kind of sentimental to me. I really like the Mass Effect series. That's a really interesting sci-fi story. Probably those two are my biggest favorites. And then, um, the old Star Wars games for the PC, like Shadows of the Empire, Jedi Quest, Dark Forces. Um, the old RTS games for the computer too, like Red Alert 2 and Command and Conquer Generals, Tiberium Sun. Those are my favorites. I played those all the time as a kid, and I still play them because they're just great. If I could change, favorite color, green. Green is my favorite color. Next question from still on Slowpoke Jinx's questions. If you could change anything about your life, what would you change? I'm pretty content with my life, actually. I mean, maybe like, just simple things like financial stability and stuff like that. I definitely like to have superpowers like Spider-Man. That'd be pretty cool to have. So I guess that'd probably be my the one thing I would change is give myself superpowers. Her next question: if $1,000 magically appeared in your lap right now, what would I buy? Ooh. Nope, $1,000 didn't appear. Not gonna lie, I'd probably blow it on comic books. I'd obviously put some in savings, like a good kid. So I'd do that, but I'd probably just blow it on comic books that I wanted, books, games, stuff like that. So that's what I would do. And then last question from Slowpoke Jinx is favorite Harry Potter character and why? That's tough. I always, I always really liked Snape, because he was just, I just liked how everyone thought that he was, it was always thought that he was the villain in the books. 1 second Snape's good, then he's bad, then he's good, then he's bad, and whatever. And then at the end, you find out that all the sacrifices that he made to protect Harry, and just I really thought that was a great testimony to his character. And then I really liked how Peter named his son after him. That was great. Okay, so that's the last questions. Here's a question from Gotham's Little Ray of Hope. Why don't you just accept that your real name is Peter Parker Pete? Because my name isn't Peter Parker, but she's still convinced that it is, so that's all that... so yeah. Empathic Mimicry, which is a Peter Petrelli blog from Heroes, asked me, if you work at a sex shop, is it not safe for work? That's a good question. I would probably have to say no, because if that's what you do for a living, then I don't really... I guess it's all a matter of perspective. Their next question is, if a tree falls in the middle of the woods but no one is there to hear it, if you record it, how many hipsters would buy the single? Probably none of them, because a tree falling is probably too mainstream for them, and they don't really buy singles. They're probably more into pirating them, because buying's too mainstream. And their next question is, what would be your starter Pokemon? Oh man. I've actually never played the Pokemon games on Game Boy, because I've never really had a Game Boy. So I'm gonna probably go with Charizard, or no, wait, I can't remember if Charizard's the big dragon or the little cute one. So I think Charizard's the big dragon. So I'd probably have to go. Wow, I feel like such a bad Pokemon fan. I can't even remember his name right now. But yeah, that's who I would go with. I'm pretty sure everyone knows who I'm talking about. My next three questions are from Cleavage and Claws Munn. She asked, "What is your favorite single comic book issue?" Ooh, that's tough. I don't really know if I could narrow it down to just one. Um, I guess if I had to pick, I'd probably pick the first appearance that Spider-Man made, which I think was Amazing Fantasy 15, if I'm not mistaken. I'd probably have to say that one because that's the first comic that created him, and thus created my favorite superhero. So I'd probably have to go with that one then. Her next question is, what got you started on Tumblr? My friend, one of my best friends, Elizabeth, got me started on Tumblr because she had one, and she wrote a lot of fan fiction and drabbles and stuff like that, and I would read them, and I kind of stalked her Tumblr even though I didn't have one, and she was just she was like, you should make one and do drabbles and stuff because I wrote them too, but I didn't have any way to publish them, or not publish them, but post them online or anything. And so I created one, and now here I am. It's actually funny how I got started role playing on Tumblr, which is another question, and I'll answer that one now. The first blog that I created, which was a personal blog, had the URL Red Robin in it, which was one of my favorite comic book characters then. And I didn't know that there was role playing on Tumblr, and so people saw the URL and they thought that I was a roleplay blog, and so they got all these followers and they were all trying to roleplay with me, and I was like, "What is this? This is kind of strange." I didn't really know what it was, and then so I kind of started trying it out, and I was like, "Ooh, this is kind of fun." And so that one actually changed into a role playing blog, and then it all went downhill from there. And so now I have like my Spider-Man blog and my other Tim Drake blog and my just all those, and then I did make another personal account now that's strictly a personal one. And then her last question is, how are you so adorbs? Every morning when I wake up, I smear adorable cream on me. I don't know. I'm not adorable. Next question is the next questions are from Layla, or Kata Ninetails, and she asked, "Why did you choose Peter and Tim?" Well, Tim I didn't really choose on purpose. He was kind of chosen for me. Like I explained, that was kind of an accident that I started role playing as him. So, but I created the other Tim Drake blog because Tim's my favorite Robin and my favorite DC character. And so, as to why I chose Peter, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero of all time, hands down. And I was role playing for probably about maybe 8 months or so when I created Peter, and I just had always wanted to make a Spider-Man blog, and so I figured, what the heck, why not make one? And so I did, and here I am now. Next question from Layla is, Marvel or DC, and why? Marvel. Marvel, 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 Marvel. Of course. Because, for one, my favorite character belongs to Marvel. I just really love all their characters. To me, their characters are just much more relatable than DC's. I mean, I can't really relate to Batman because he's kind of a jerk and he's a billionaire. And I can't really relate to Superman because he's like this big dude who can move planets and shoot lasers from his eyes. But Peter Parker's just so relatable because he's, for one, most of the people who start reading Spider-Man comics were teenagers, so they could automatically relate to his age. He was always broke. He hardly ever gets the girl. He's struggling to balance school, work, his social life, and his superhero life. And he wasn't a hero who just got his powers and decided to do something good. He got his powers and he tried to make money for himself when he first got them. When he first made the web shooters, he tried to sell the formula to a glue company, and they didn't take it. And then the only reason that he became a superhero was because of what happened to his Uncle Ben, because of his mistakes, which I also liked because he's one of the few superheroes to actually directly be the cause of people's death in his life. If you were going to make someone new, who would it be? That's a good question. I've thought about making a Kane Parker blog, who is Spider-Man's clone, aka the Scarlet Spider. I've thought about making him. I've thought about making a Deadpool blog because I think I could pull him off. He seems like he'd be a fun character to play. Let's see, who else? Um, that's really it. I see characters when I'm reading comics and stuff, and I'm like, oh, those are cool. That'd be fun to, like, the thought kind of pops into my head, but I've never thought seriously about making any of those. Um, Her next question is, do you like X-Men? I like X-Men. I do like the X-Men, but I've never really read many of their comics. I mean, I've always, I know who some of them are, and then I know some of the basic characters' backstories and stuff like that. But yeah, I like X-Men for the most part. Um, Arrow at YJ, and I think she's also no longer an Archer. She asked me what is my favorite color. Green, like I said. Any pets? Yes, I do. I have a golden retriever named Angel. Who? Nope, she's not in here. If she was, I'd totally show her off. But she's my baby. I love her. Least favorite character. Ooh. Least favorite character. That's a tough one. I like. I probably have to say Batman. Actually, I mean, I do buy the Batman and Robin comics, and I buy the Batman solo title for the New 52. But just like the fans have kind of ruined the character for me because they've they just make Batman out to be like this perfect character when he's not, and the Chris Nolan Dark Knight movies ruined him for me because they made him, for one, instead of him sounding intimidating, he sounds like he's got a golf ball stuck in his throat or something. He's just like, yeah, that's my Batman impersonation. But yeah, I'd probably have to say him, mostly because just people have kind of ruined him for me. She asked, how old are you? I am 21. I know, I'm really old. People you RP with the most. That would be, for Spider-Man, that'd be Cleavage and Claws, who's my Felicia Hardy. Uh, my Tylee the Magnificent. Bunny Ears and Trickery. I mean, I interact with a lot of people, I like to think, on that blog. Passion Under Stars, Gotham's Little Ray of Hope, Selena Kyle, uh, Barbara Gordon, just a lot of people. Those are all the blogs I interact with the most. Cayman Rider, Savior of Existence, Slowpoke Jinx, just a lot of people. Vigilante Paparazzi, who is another DCOC. I should also do a shout out to her. She's a great and a really interesting OC because she doesn't have any superpowers. She's just a regular human who's a photographer and sort of a vigilante by taking pictures of crime evidence and turning them over to the police. So that's a really cool take on a character. Who is my favorite? I can't narrow it down to just one. Basically, if I interact with you, you're my favorite blog because you're all my favorite blogs to interact with. It's such a joy to be able to just share a creative side of mine with you guys. So yeah, there's no way I could narrow it down to just one. What kind of shows do I watch? I watch Arrow, Supernatural, Scrubs, How I Met Your Mother, The Office. What else? I watch Southland, which is a cop show, and that's a pretty good show. What else do I watch? I watch Ultimate Spider-Man. What else do I watch? Suits, which is a really good show on USA. I think it's show about lawyers, and that's a really good show. I like that one a lot. That's all I can think of right now. I watched Spectacular Spider-Man. I don't. It's not on TV anymore, I don't think. But I have the whole series on DVD, and that's, excuse me. That's probably my, excuse me again. That's my favorite take on Spider-Man for a cartoon, as far as a cartoon goes. And I know it's really hard to replace the '90s Spider-Man cartoon, but I just think the voice acting in that one's a little or much better than the '90s one. And I think that Josh Keaton, who plays the voice of Spider-Man and Peter Parker, just captures him so great. And then just everyone, the Gwen Stacy, and I really liked Peter and Liz Allen in that show. I was really sad whenever they broke up. That was I really liked them together. They were very cute. Um, the last book you read, I'm reading the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series right now, and I'm almost done with the second one. I haven't really read it in a while, but that's the book I'm reading right now. Is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Sea of Monsters. When did I join Tumblr and why? I think I kind of went over that. When did I join was about a year. It was when was it? I think it was like a year and a half ago was when I first made my quote unquote personal that turned into a Red Robin blog. So that's when I got into it. Next question is from an Anon who asked biggest pet peeve. That'd probably be whenever people refer to themselves in third person. That just really, it really arachnids me. I can't really say it bugs me anymore because I think arachnids is a much more cool thing to say. And but yeah, I cringe every time I hear someone say that because it's not right. It's weird. Don't do it ever around me, or else I'm gonna web your mouth shut. She asked, or I don't know if it's she. I'm sorry. They asked, how long have I liked Spider-Man? Since I was really young, like maybe 5 years old or younger. I mean, I think you guys have seen the Monday picture of me, like where I was like 6 or 7 years old into my Spider-Man costume. My dad is a huge Spider-Man fan. He hasn't read the comics or anything like I have, but he grew up watching the 1967 Spider-Man cartoons, the old ones, and so he showed those to me when I was a kid, and he showed those to me like when he was showing me Star Wars and everything. He was indoctrinating me into the nerdum fandom, and I just really took it to heart. And then I grew up watching the 1990s Spider-Man cartoon, and then I started buying the comics and playing the games, watching the movies, everything. So I've been a Spider-Man fan almost my whole life, really. So I'd say when I was 5, so about 16 to 17, 16 years, I've been a Spider-Man fan. And it's still going. Favorite ships and why? Ooh, that's tough. For Peter, as far as canon goes, like his girlfriends in canon, Peter and Black Cat are my OTP for Peter. I would much rather see him get married to her than MJ. Nothing against MJ. I mean, I like her in the comics much better than I do in the movies, because in the movies she was so annoying and she actually kind of ruined the character for me for a little bit. But I've always liked Black Cat and Peter together. I really like that, how she didn't love Peter Parker at first, but then she comes back and she loves him, and I think it's a better love story than Peter and MJ. So they are my OTP for Peter and canon. Other ships that I like for my blog are Spider-Man and Black Cat, obviously. Peter Parker and Ty Lee from Avatar. They're adorable. I love them. They're one of my OTPs actually for Peter. Peter and White Rabbit, Bunny Ears and Trickery. They're adorable because Peter gets to bring out that side of her. So I like them a lot. Let's see, who else? Should actually probably go to my relationships page because I'm kind of blinking right now. I'm sorry, guys. Spider-Man and Starfire with Passion Under Stars. they're adorable because Starfire doesn't understand why Peter's so nervous and stuttering around her, and she thinks that he's sick, and she's like, putting her hand on his forehead. She's like, "Are you okay? Are you unwell?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm fine." So that's really funny. Miss Martian, they are adorable. Spider Martian's one of my OTPs actually. Um, who else? Vigilante Paparazzi with Sally. That's her character's name, Sally. They're very cute. I like them a lot. And right now they're in the middle of. She's in the middle of trying to figure out who Spider-Man is. So that's going to be interesting whenever she finds out, because she knows Peter Parker. They both work at the Daily Bugle in our universe, and she knows who Peter Parker is, and she's met Spider-Man before, but she doesn't know who he is, and she's trying to find that out. And so that's going to be interesting whenever she sees who it is. Another ship is Peter and Selena Kyle. They woke up drunkenly married, kind of like from the movie The Hangover, and they're a really funny ship. And it's actually really cute because they started out, not knowing who each other were, but they've learned about each other and they grew to love each other. So that was really good. Peter and Kara with Kara Jor-El. She's great, and the ship's really cute. So I really like that. Another ship for Tim Drake is Tim and Senna. Like I said, they're my first OTP for Tim Drake. So, I mean, I could go on for a long time about them. I mean, if you just go to the blog, you'll see all the stuff with her on it. So they're one of my favorite ships. Tim Drake and Stephanie Brown with Gotham's Little Ray of Hope. They're one of my favorite ships for Tim Drake. They're another one of my OTPs. They're great. I've always loved Tim and Stephanie's interactions, especially as Robin and Spoiler, because they're just so cute. They're perfect. I love them. Spider-Man and Barbara Gordon / Batgirl / Oracle. We don't have a ship name for Spider-Man and Batgirl, but for Oracle and Peter, it's called Web Wheels. I'm original like that. So that's one of them. Let's see, who else? Oh, Spider-Man and Peter and Jinx with Slowpoke Jinx. They are so precious together because Jinx tries to be sassy and she tries to, act like she doesn't care. And at first she acted like she hated Spider-Man, but she knew that she did like him. And so it was always really cute to see her try and remain angry at Peter when she really couldn't. So that's one of my favorite ships. They're great. Let's see, who else? I think that's it. That's all I can think of really for right now. If I missed our ship, I'm really sorry. Don't take it personally. I'm just kind of blanking right now. I'm sorry. One more ship. Tim Drake and Supergirl are a really good ship. I really like them together. I shipped Tim with AKA Supergirl a while ago, and it was always really cute. Like whenever Tim made Kara watch, whenever Tim made Kara watch a horror movie, and she got really scared and started using her X-ray vision to look around the house all panic-like and was trying to see if there were any monsters in the house. That was really cute. As far as bro TPs go for Peter, I like him and Tommy, aka Speed, who is Hottie Blur, I think is his URL. He's really great, and I like him. He and Peter is best friends together. Peter and Kamen Rider, and Peter and Jay, aka Savior of Existence. They're really great. I really like Peter and Pietro with Son of M. I really liked their interactions. It was fun for them because both of them together is just like sass galore. Another ship for Tim is Tim and Whirlwind, who is another OC. They're really great together. And now I think that's really it. One last question. Why, from Vigilante Paparazzi, why did you choose Spider-Man to RP? I chose him because he is my, like I said, all-time favorite superhero. His muses comes really easily to me. Like, Tim's kind of gotten a little harder over the years, but Peter just comes really easily to me. It's really easy for me to answer the asks, and reply to certain threads. Some threads take a little longer than others because I'm very self-conscious and I want the person to get a really good reply. But his muse just comes really easily to me. It's a lot of fun to play him. I like letting him. I really like playing him. I'm sorry, I'm babbling again. So those are all the questions I have, and so I guess I'm not going to take up any more of your time because this video is almost an hour long. Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, so thank you all for following me, and thank you all for sending me questions. Probably I might do another one of these when I reach another milestone, depending on if you guys like them or not. So just thank you all for following me and for interacting with me and putting up with me. And you guys have just all been great and wonderful followers and partners, and I cherish each of you, and I love talking to you all, especially out of character too. I mean, I'm not just here to interact with the characters, I like interacting with the muns and stuff. So, yeah, thank you guys for following me, and thank you for watching my video, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, because it's Friday, so have a wonderful weekend, and thank you guys.